Beyond the headlines. This is World Insight.
Hello and welcome to World Insight with me, Tian Wei. World Environment Day this year focuses on climate change with an eye on the Earth's alarming distress signals, rising seas, raging wildfires, heat waves, and melting glaciers. That's why China has been actively pushing for a greener world. It has contributed roughly 25% of the world's green renewal in recent years' efforts to push back encroaching barren desert, including the Musu Desert, one of the 4 major sandy lands in China, resonate with people, including those between China and the United States. In 1999, this gentleman, Ronald Sakolsky, an American middle school exchange teacher in central China's Henan province, raised about $5,000 to help a Chinese couple plant more trees, saplings, in China's Musu Desert. Today, that gift has grown into more than 50,000 thriving trees across the desert. I recently talked to the American teacher who, together with his Chinese friends, crossed the Pacific, made an unforgettable story of kinship and respect for nature.
I cannot believe this. This is overwhelming for me. I never thought anything like this was going to happen. My last name is Sakolsky, and everybody has trouble saying it. So all my students, both in China and America, know me as Mr. S. And most just call me S.
All right, Mr. S, what a pleasure.
It is my honor.
You know, you have become the most popular American in China these days.
I cannot believe this. This is overwhelming to me. It's like I'm dreaming. It just does not seem real to me.
Well, it's all started from Miss Yin, who you helped more than 20 years ago to try to bring more forest into the Musu Desert, which is one of the biggest sandy area in China.
I could never find her on the internet, and some of my students and teachers in China started to text me and email me, and a lot of people that I do not know, just people from China, started to ask, are you the teacher from the forest? At first, I thought it was a joke. I didn't believe this was happening. Until Mr. Baifun, my principal from Luoyang Foreign Language School, called me on the telephone. And he started to tell me stories that only he and I would know. And that's when I realized that it was real and not a fake.
What was the story that he told you that helped you to assess that it's a real thing going on?
I went on a trip for the national holiday, for China's national holiday, with 25 other teachers from my school to Zhangjiajie. In 1999, it was a 25-hour train ride. Mm-hmm. I understand today with the new train, it's only like 9 hours to Zhangjiajie. But in 99, it was 25 hours. When we got off the train, we took a bus to the hotel. The bathroom did not have a toilet. It had a hole in the ground. This was all new to me. I had only been in China for 2 months. But when I stayed with those Chinese teachers for a week, I brought different clothes for every day. Chinese men washed their clothes at night and put them back on again in the morning. They let me stay in the room with them, and I became part of the family. Within 2 months of living in China, I was eating like the Chinese, sleeping like the Chinese, and living like the Chinese.
How did the story with Miss Yin begin? How did you come up with the idea of trying to donate 5,000 US dollars at the time, 25 years ago, to a woman in the middle of Inner Mongolia who tried to plant trees?
I lived in China by myself. My family was back in the United States. I wanted to know what was going on in the world. So I watched CCTV at 12 o'clock, at 12 o'clock noon and 7 o'clock at night, because they did a half-hour news broadcast in English.
That's right.
I don't know if
That's us.
I don't know if you still do it now, but in 1999 at 12 noon and 7 o'clock at night, you did world news in English.
Well, we do 24 hours a day now, sir.
Oh, awesome. A reporter from CCTV was doing a story on heroes of China. And every day she would show a different hero. On this one day, she was showing Miss Yin and her husband and how they were planting trees in the desert. Her husband was very sick. He had a lung disease. They only made $250 a year, and they spent all their money to plant trees in the desert in China to cut down on the sand getting into the wind. I could not believe this. I mean, this was amazing to me that she loved the motherland so much that she was willing to give every penny or every yuan that she had to making China beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It touched my heart. I don't know why. I can't tell you why, because I don't know. It just happened. I was crying as I watched the news. So I saw her on the TV and I said, I want to help her. And I want to thank China, because it had already taught me many lessons. Just in 2 months, China had made me a better person. So every night after Tai Chi, I went back in my apartment for 2 months, and I started to research on the internet to find somebody or some organization that would help Miss Yin. I found a couple of organizations, but they all wanted to take a commission to get the money to China. I would not agree to that. It was either all the money or no donation. Finally, an organization in Boston, Massachusetts, who I do not remember who they are, said that they would give me $5,000. Well, Miss Yin only made $250 a year. $5,000 in 1999 was 20 years of income. So then I had to work to find a way to get the money to her. Central government in Beijing was willing to get the money, and then they promised that they would get the money to her. And that's how it all started. I heard in December that the money had arrived in Beijing. And then I never heard anything else. In May of 2000, Mr. Bai said to me, S, tell your students you are going away for a week. I said to him, where am I going? He said, I cannot tell you, but you will cry. Bring your suit and you will cry. I knew in China, if they told me to bring my suit, it was something important. So I texted my supervisor in New York City from the teacher exchange program. And I said to her, do you know anything about this trip? And she said, yes, I know, but I cannot tell you, but you will cry. So I told my students, and But Mr. Bai told me that I was very lucky to go to Mongol, to the grassland in Mongol. He had always,
Mongolia.
yes, Inner Mongolia. He had always dreamed to go to the grassland, but he had never been there. Mr. Bai had become my brother. So I told him the only way I would go was if they let him come with me to be my translator, because I do not speak Chinese. They said Mr. Bai could come with me, so we flew to Hohhot.
The provincial capital of Inner Mongolia.
Yes. We got off of the plane and we went to a hotel in Hohhot where we had a banquet that night. I was sitting at the round table, one of the round tables, and Chinese tradition, I was in the guest of honor seat. So I was facing the door of the banquet room. The door opened and Miss Yin walked in the door. I was stunned. I turned to Mr. Bai and I said, Mr. Bai, that's the lady from the television show in October. And he said, yes, that's why you're here. I jumped out of my seat, and like an American, I went over and I gave her a big hug. Chinese traditional women do not hug men in public, and especially a foreigner in public. And she does not speak English. So she was very, very scared. After she calmed down, we went back to the table and they served us dinner, Inner Mongolian lamb banquet.
What did she tell you through Mr. Bai?
She told me about the forest and how she had planted the trees, and that the next day we were going to go to her house. So that night after the banquet, like 10 o'clock at night, Mr. Bai says to me, oh, by the way, which is typical Chinese, you always wait to the last minute to tell somebody something. You never tell them anything in advance. So Mr. Bai tells me, it's funny, but it's true. Mr. Bai tells me at 10 o'clock at night that in the morning, at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to give a speech to 500 Communist Party members. This is 10 o'clock at night, and I have to write a speech for 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't speak Chinese. Mr. Bai said, no problem. I will translate. So I did a speech in a small elementary school in Hohhot to 500 communist men.
So they were like the local officials and also people responsible for implement the project of forestation together with Miss Yin, right?
Yes, they were locals and some members from Beijing.
I see.
When I was done, and Dasha Shah from CCTV was outside waiting for me.
That's terrific.
And we drove for hours over the sand. There were no roads. There were no villages. There were no houses. In the middle of the desert, there was a hole, a big hole in the desert. Miss Yin came out of the hole. She was digging a water hole for the trees. I saw her. We said hello, and she started to point all around the desert. She said, this is your forest. This is your forest. This is your forest. 3 times. The third time she called it my forest, I said to Mr. Bai, why is she calling it my forest? It is not my forest. And Mr. Bai said, Beijing central government is calling it the Sakolsky forest. I said, no, all I did was put this money together, but I did not do this for the forest to be named after me. She showed me the little saplings. When I tell you that the saplings were no bigger than this pen, that was the size of the saplings that she was putting in the desert, digging a hole with a stick and dropping the sapling in the desert.
I see.
Then we drove to her house and she made a delicious noodle dish. I came back to America in June of 2000. In December of 2000, I got Mr. Bai sent me a letter that Miss Yin had sent her to him to send to me, and he translated it into English with a picture of a very large white stone in the desert, calling it the Sakolsky Forest, with an excerpt, a part of my speech on the stone.
Wow.
Sadly, my school in America got black mold. I don't know if you know what black mold is, but it's very bad. It's black. It goes all over your walls. It can be very dangerous.
I see.
So at a school, they threw all my stuff away. So they threw away all my pictures of Miss Yin, all my pictures of the forest, the letter, everything they threw in the garbage. I lost everything. And so I lost contact for 27 years.
You know, because in China there is a traditional saying, it takes 10 years to make a forest. It takes 100 years to build a person. Of course, this is an analogy, but it shows how much effort one needs to make in order to raise a child through education. And it's so interesting that these two stories about the trees, about a person, and about a bridge between your part of the world and this part of the world really beautifully reflected and crystallization in this story that we are talking about today, 27 years later.
If a simple world history teacher from America can somehow find a simple Chinese woman in the desert of China in Inner Mongolia, and somehow, some way work together to create this forest, the world can find a way to work together. It's not easy. It takes a lot of obstacles and a lot of time. But in America, we say if there's a will, there's a way. And I had a will to help her, and she had a dream to make China beautiful.
What is it like for you, since coming back from China about 27 years ago to America and see the changes in China, whether it's the train or it's the people's income, the forest?
I cannot believe what many people have told me about the changes in China. I went back to China in 2004 for 1 month. I taught with Mr. Bai at the Luoyang Foreign Language School. The changes in just 4 years in Luoyang were amazing. But now I hear Miss Yin, there's a road to her house. I saw a picture of the forest with a giant building in the middle of the forest. It is amazing to me. I cannot wait to get back to China to see the changes. But please let me tell you this. When I left China in 2000, I gave another speech to a group of people in Luoyang. I gave a speech, and in there I said in 1999, I was very scared that China was getting too westernized. And from what I'm hearing now, it's getting more and more modern, which is good. but I hope they don't lose their respect for respect and their respect for education. My students in China went to school 7 days a week from 8 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. American students would never do that, never. But that's because the Chinese respect education much more than American students do. My students in China, I have stayed in touch with 3 of them since I left China. One is now a computer technician in Beijing. One works for the British consulate in Wuhan, and one is a professor at Nanjing University.
Amazing.
They all use their English that I started to teach them. They use their English in their jobs, which makes me very, very happy. And they email me in English. They have reached out to me. 2 days ago, I got an email from a student of mine. His name is Richie Lee. I don't know his Chinese name. I made all my students in China get an English name. So every one of my students in China had to have an English name. Some had normal names and some had funny names. The only talking in my classroom was English.
Many of the people who got to know you over the years will be able to see you, hear your story once again. And many of those who do not know you now get to know you much better through your stories. So thank you for that. Anything you want to say to them?
I am looking forward to making arrangements to come back to China sometime after June, probably July, August, or September. I will probably come back to China for a week or 10 days, about 10 days. I thank China for everything it has done for me. It made me a better person. And Miss Yin she's just amazing. And that's something China taught me. And China taught me to appreciate the simple things. So I am looking forward to coming to China, to going to the forest, to going back to Luoyang, and anything else that they want me to do when I'm there, I will do.
Thank you, Esther. I really appreciate that. Your son helped me. We got to know each other through the internet and also to hear your story eventually. I'm looking forward to seeing you, if possible, in China and in the United States as well. And thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
That's my latest conversation with Ronald Sakolsky, an American whose empathy and generosity have built connections long enough to span the Pacific over the years. Thanks to the efforts of his and his friends in China, as shown in this picture, China's sandy land, one of them at least, is disappearing. In the coming days, we will bring more stories about him, Mr. Sakolsky, and also the stories about him and his friends. That's all the time we have for today. If you'd like to know more, search World Insight. Check out our YouTube channel. Follow us on X and Facebook. I'm Tian Wei on behalf of the team. Thanks for being with us. Bye for now.
From the refreshing cup of tea that starts your morning to the paper that you write on, the roots of many familiar parts of modern life can be traced back to ancient ideas. Join us on Made in Ancient China and discover how ideas born millennia ago became some of the world's greatest treasures. Made in Ancient China brings you stories of human ambition, inspiration, and connection. Now available on all major podcast platforms.
Shh, listen up. Can you hear the heartbeat of our world? It's vibrant and pulsating with the essence of life itself. From the stem of trees to the gurgle of rivers. From the silent strength of mountains to the icy whispers of glaciers. even the solid ground beneath our feet. And right there, in the midst of all, beats the heart of humanity. What if those other heartbeats were to stop? Would ours keep on ticking?
CGTN Radio is proud to present Sweetness on the Plateau.
Hello? Emergency! Help!
A radio drama inspired by the true story of a visionary farmer from Shandong.
It's a different war.
Who carried not only seeds, but dreams to the rooftop of the world.
Then let's do it! Let's make it stand!
Follow a determined team as they scale the razor-sharp peaks of Tangula.
When's it gonna end?
Brave relentless blizzards to build greenhouses and achieve the impossible, turning the barren plateau into a garden of miracles.
We did it! It's solid.
Tune in to Sweetness on the Plateau, a powerful story of resilience, hope, and the human spirit blooming against all odds.
We made sweetness happen!
Available now on CGTN Radio and all major podcast platforms.